Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Storytime again. Today I'm going to read to you a story that I read to my children. So you'll notice when I open the pages that there's some cracks. They look a little bit dog-eared. The spine is falling apart, the spine of the book, but it was one of our favorites. It's called I Wonder, Did Jesus Have a Pet Lamb? I wonder if you have any questions about what life was like for Jesus when he was growing up. He was a little boy, just like you are now, a little boy or a girl. He grew up from a baby to a man, and I wonder what life was like for him growing up. So let's read this story. It might raise some questions for you. You might have some questions too. There might be some things you're wondering about. I wonder, did Jesus have a pet lamb? The Bible tells us about Jesus' birth. He was born in Bethlehem, and his mother Mary bundled him up and tucked him into a manger for his bed. An angel told shepherds where he was, and they came to look at him. There he was, a tiny newborn baby snuggled into the hay. We think about his story every year at Christmas time when we celebrate his birthday. The Bible has lots and lots of stories about when Jesus was a man. He called people to follow him. He visited many villages telling wonderful stories and making blind men see and lame men walk again. He even fed a whole bunch of people with just one boy's little lunch. And another time, when a father and mother were very sad and crying because their little girl had died, Jesus took her hand and made her well again. He loved children and taught that everyone who wanted to go to heaven should be trusting and loving like a child. Yes, the Bible tells us Jesus was a very special baby and a very special man. But do you ever wonder about Jesus after he was a baby? Before he became a man? I wonder what he was like when he was just a boy. Did the boy Jesus have favourite things he liked to do? When he was done helping his dad Joseph in the carpenter shop, did he like to play? He didn't have a scooter or a bicycle or a skateboard because those things weren't around when Jesus was a boy. So what did he do for fun? Did he like to go fishing in the Sea of Galilee with his grandpa? Did he sit on the boat and wiggle his toes in the cool water while he waited to pull a fish in off his fishing line? I wonder. I wonder what his toys were like. There weren't trains or trucks or Lego or robots. Maybe his dad carved him a donkey from leftover olive wood. Maybe the little wooden donkey even pulled a wagon. Or maybe Jesus built things himself with pieces of wood left over from his dad's carpenter shop. Did he make little houses or mangers or even a miniature temple? I wonder. I wonder if Jesus had a pet. If he did, was it a small woolly lamb or a long-eared baby donkey? Maybe it was a bird in a wicker cage, or a turtle he kept in an earthenware jar. Or maybe he had a silky-haired cat that liked to curl up on his bed, or a puppy that liked to romp and play. I wonder. I wonder if Jesus liked to go to his grandma's house. Did she put her hand on his head and look at him with love and pride in her eyes as she told him he was getting so big he would soon catch up to her? And was she pleased and proud when he bought her a handmade box he had made to hold her market coins? Or small shells he had gathered beside the sea? I wonder. I wonder what he liked to eat. Not ice cream. There was no ice in the freezer to keep it cold back in those days. Not jelly. It hadn't been invented yet. Jesus and his family didn't have hot dogs or potato chips or spaghetti or pizza either. Did he like bread and fish? Did he ever climb a tree to pick a ripe, juicy peach? Did his mum ever make him pudding or cake with drizzled honey over it to make them taste good? I wonder. I wonder where Jesus went to school. They didn't have big buildings or classrooms with round globes or art project displays or chalkboards or whiteboards, but they might have had slates to write on. They sure didn't have computers, but Jesus must have had good teachers and he must have been a good student. When he was only 12 years old, he went to the temple where the smartest people were, and he asked good questions and gave good answers when the grown-ups asked him many things. How did he learn so much? I wonder. There are so many things I wonder. Did his mummy save his first tooth or a dark curl of his baby hair? Were his wool clothes sometimes itchy and too warm? Did he have chores to do each day? I wonder if Jesus liked music and if he learned to play a tune on a reed pipe or strum on a lute. Did he ever fall and scratch his knees or elbows and have his mum kiss the hurt and wipe away the tears and send him back out to play? I wonder. I wonder if Jesus had a best friend. Did he fit in with the other boys in Nazareth, or did some of them think he was different and call him names or even push him around? If they did, was it hard for him not to get mad and be mean back? Did he say a quick prayer to his Heavenly Father to help him do what was right? Did he sometimes feel lonely for his home in heaven with all its wonderfully familiar and safe things? I wonder. He must have been very special as a boy. If I had lived a long time ago when Jesus lived in Palestine, I would have wanted to be his friend. But you know what? I can be his friend, even now. Jesus says, "You are my friends if you obey me." I want to obey Jesus and be his friend. And that is the most wonderful thing of all to think about. What a great story. There are lots of things we could wonder about Jesus. But there's one thing we don't have to wonder about. We don't have to wonder whether or not he wants to be our friend. He does. He wants to be our friend so much that he was prepared to give up his life for us. And that's pretty amazing. I hope you've enjoyed today's story. I'm going to bring, when you return to school, I'm going to bring some of these books down to your classroom so that you can actually have a read through them in some of your quiet time. Have a great week, Kindy, and Year 1 and Year 2.